If you're in your 30s or 40s, listen carefully. I'm 74, and for decades I got one thing terribly wrong. I thought being present meant showing up, but I wasn't really there. And now it's too late to go back.
I'm not sick, not exactly. But when you get to this age, your body starts sending you small messages. A tiredness that sleep doesn't fix. A slowness in the morning that wasn't there 10 years ago. You start doing small math in your head that you never used to do. I have a daughter. Her name is Claire. She lives about 4 hours away. She calls on Sundays, usually around noon, and we talk for maybe 15 minutes. Sometimes 20 if one of the grandkids did something funny that week. And I love those calls. But I want to tell you something about those calls, and about all the years that came before them. I grew up in a small town in Pennsylvania. My father worked in a plant. My mother stayed home. We didn't talk much, not because we didn't love each other, but because in that house, love wasn't something you said out loud. It was something you showed by showing up, by fixing things, by not complaining. I learned that early. I carried it for 50 years. When I was 34, I got a promotion at work, regional manager. It meant more travel, more responsibility, more of everything that I thought, at the time, was the whole point. My wife, Margaret, God, she was patient. She packed my bags more times than either of us can count now. She never complained, not once in those early years. She'd kiss me at the door, wave from the window, and I'd drive away feeling like I was doing the right thing, providing, building something. And I was, but I was also missing things, small things at the time, things that don't feel small anymore. Claire was 7 when she had her first school play. She played a tree. I know that sounds small. She had 2 lines and a costume made of brown felt that Margaret had stayed up 3 nights sewing. I was in Cincinnati. I remember Margaret called me that night. She held the phone up so I could hear Claire singing in the background, still in her costume, still buzzing from the applause. And I said, "Tell her I'm proud of her." I meant it, but I wasn't there to say it to her face. And here's the thing I didn't understand then. Claire remembered, not with anger, not even with sadness really, but years later, when she was maybe 19 or 20, she said something offhand at dinner. She said, "Dad was always kind of far away." She wasn't accusing me, she was just describing me, and that description has sat with me ever since. I don't think I understood for a very long time the difference between being present and being available. I confused them completely. I thought because I was a good provider, because I answered the phone, because I showed up at the big moments, graduations, weddings, the important ones, I thought that was presence. But Margaret knew the difference. She just never said it in words I could hear. She said it in other ways, in the way she'd go quiet sometimes when I came home after a long trip. Not cold, not angry, just quiet, like she'd learned to close a door gently when she'd been waiting behind it for too long. I noticed it, I just didn't ask about it. That was my pattern. Notice, don't ask, move on. We had 41 years together, Margaret and I. She passed 4 years ago. Quietly, the way she did most things. Sitting in that same chair I'm sitting in now, actually. Reading a book she'd been meaning to finish for months. I was in the kitchen, making coffee. 4 years ago. And I'll tell you something I've never said out loud before. In those 41 years, I never once asked her what she was afraid of. Not once. I knew what she liked. I knew her favorite color, her favorite season, the way she took her tea. I knew the small things. But her fears, her private grief, the things she thought about when the house went quiet, I don't know. I never asked. and now I can't. That's not a small thing to carry. I'm not telling you this because I regret my life. I don't. I had a good one, I know that. But there's a difference between a good life and a fully felt one, and I didn't understand that distinction until it was very late. I spent so much time managing my life that I forgot to actually inhabit it, to sit inside a moment and let it be what it was. I was always half present, half somewhere else, half planning the next thing, half recovering from the last thing, half thinking about work, about money, about what needed fixing. Fully in the room, that happened in flashes. A camping trip with Claire when she was 11. One dinner with Margaret. I can't even remember the occasion, where we laughed until we couldn't breathe. A single afternoon with my father a few months before he died, when we just sat on his porch and watched the street. Those moments are the clearest things in my memory. Everything else has gone a little soft. I want to say something carefully here, because I'm not trying to tell you your priorities are wrong. I don't know your life. I don't know what you're carrying. But I know that I told myself for decades that I'd slow down later, that later I'd be more patient, later I'd ask better questions, later I'd stop half listening. Later never really arrived as a single day I could point to. It just arrived as this age, this quiet, this Sunday phone call that lasts 15 minutes. Claire came to visit last month. She stayed for 3 days. We watched old films, we walked around the neighborhood. She cooked one evening, made something Margaret used to make, and she didn't even know that. She'd just found the recipe somewhere. And on the last morning before she drove back, we sat at the kitchen table with coffee, and we just talked, really talked. She told me about something that had been worrying her, about her marriage, about feeling like she was disappearing a little inside her own life. And I listened. I actually listened. I didn't try to fix it. I didn't offer a plan. I just sat with her in it. And at some point she looked at me and said, "Dad, you've gotten easier to talk to." I didn't know whether to smile or cry. Both felt true. But what I thought was, why did it take me until 74 to get easier to talk to? That's the thing I wish I had understood sooner. Not a lesson, not a rule, just that the person in front of you is asking for something you almost always have the ability to give. And most of the time, the thing they need is just for you to stay. Stay in the conversation. Stay in the room. Stay without your mind already at the door. I could have given that more. I had it all along and I rationed it like it was scarce. Margaret used to say, and I'm only remembering this now, which tells you something about how long it takes me to hear things. She used to say, "Robert, you're very good at being around, but sometimes I just need you to be here." I'd nod. I'd think I understood. I didn't. Not really. Not until she wasn't around to say it anymore. So I sit here now, in her chair, with the house quiet and the afternoon going slow, and I'm not sad exactly. I'm just awake in a way I wasn't for a long time. Awake to what was here, what has always been here. The particular way light comes through that window at 4 o'clock, the sound of the neighborhood at the end of the day, the ordinary, unremarkable texture of a life that was actually full. I just didn't always feel it. If you're watching this and you're young enough to still be in the middle of things, I'm not asking you to change anything. I'm just saying that the middle of things is where it all actually is. Not at the finish line, not when things settle down. Right there, in the noise and the mess and the ordinary Tuesday. That's where it lives. I recorded this because I wanted to say it somewhere. Not for advice, not to be remembered for something wise. Just to say it out loud finally, in case it lands somewhere it's needed. If any of it stayed with you, I'd be glad to know. You can leave something in the comments if you want. I read them. Slowly, but I read them. Take care of yourself,
and of the people who are already right there.